Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, if the Walt Disney Company didn't know how to make mistakes in the hiring department as of late, I don't know if they'd be able to do anything at all, because X-Men is something that should be an easy slam dunk, ladies and gentlemen. After Bob Iger acquired the Fox's owned franchises out there and acquired all of the rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men, I agree with Eric July. This is something that should have been fast-tracked to the very head of the slate. I mean, you've got Marvel's first family, and then, of course, the X-Men, one of those popular and diverse franchises out there in known human history, and it's absolutely amazing and a fan favorite worldwide. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, they didn't do that. Bald Bobby Boy over there and Kevin Feige decided to keep going down the same path that they'd had, which has resulted in the disastrous dumpster fire that has been the last few years of the Disney Marvel MCU. It's been absolutely bad. They've lost billions of dollars at the box office, and things aren't going very well for them at all. The Fantastic Four looks, I guess, maybe slightly interesting, but I think majority of the fans have checked out of all things Disney Marvel at this point. I think the box office is rather obvious and apparent that shows all of that to be true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you'd think the X-Men would be an easy slam dunk. If done properly, there's a million stories you could adapt with, of course, a bunch of million of diverse characters that would fit all of the Walt Disney Company's check boxes. But at the end of the day, the Walt Disney Company does not hire directors, does not hire writers. They simply cast them for their own immutable characteristics, so that way they can show off and showboat to all of their friends and go, look at all the check boxes that we made. Well, and what's probably going to end up being the next disastrous dumpster fire of all things, and it's something that's going to show you that any hope you might have for the Disney Marvel doing anything right by the X-Men series, well, ladies and gentlemen, outside of the animated series, I don't think you're going to get anything good, because the Walt Disney Company has officially announced, well, it's reportedly signing the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes co-screenwriter to pen the X-Men reboot. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into why this is a disastrous dumpster fire and idea, because maybe you're one of those people out there who went and saw the Hunger Games with the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and maybe you enjoyed it. Maybe you did. But boys and girls, this choice is a drastically huge mistake. And you know a tree by the fruit it produces. And the fruit that this particular individual and that Songbirds and Snakes produced was not so good. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into the article. We're going to see exactly what's going on with here, exactly what this rumor or actual accusation or maybe some general announcement is. And then I'm going to show you exactly why I believe this is a huge mistake and is going to make any kind of X-Men movie or project going forward for live action DOA. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button, share with all your friends, subscribe, and or follow if you have not already. Leave us a comment down below, and make sure you catch us live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. for the morning prep, where you can watch all of your comments and respond and respond to these videos live, because it's a great time and everybody really enjoys it. So let's get into this. Shout out to Spencer over at Bounding Into Comics. In making their first official move, and an admittedly uninspiring one at that, towards bringing the titular team into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Disney has reportedly entered in talks with the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes co-screenwriter Michael Leslie to have him pen the script for their upcoming X-Men film Reboot. I don't know. That doesn't sound so good. Doesn't sound so good. Doesn't sound so good. Per Deadline's Justin Kroll, which if it's coming out of Deadline, you can basically know the fact that they've got a pretty good. This isn't some rumor mill coming from like My Time to Shine, Hello, or something like that. No, this is coming from Deadline, boys and girls. So basically, you can take it to the bank. Justin Kroll, Leslie, and Marvel are currently in negotiations regarding his possible assignment to Marvel's Merry Band of Mutants. And though the deal has yet to been finalized, it appears current expectations are that the inking is all but inevitable. Like many of Marvel Studios' recent hires, Leslie resumes resume is to say at least lacking. Aside from the latest Hunger Games entry, the only other notable writing credits to Leslie's names are for Michael Fassbender's 2005 outing as Macbeth and his abysmal 2016 appearance in Assassin's Creed, both of which he provided the screenplays for, and both of which were absolute failures, especially the Assassin's Creed movie. I didn't even bother going and seeing that, and I heard nothing but bad things, and it was an absolute abysmal failure at the box office and with fans alike. So yeah, not really a great track record so far, and we haven't even got into how well the lack of how well the Hunger Games movie that he penned did as well. Additionally, Leslie has also served as a producer on a smattering of different projects, including Errol Morris' directed Steve Bannon biodocumentary American Dama, the Max original film Locked Down, starring Anne Hathaway, and Amazon's Prime Viggo Mortensen Let It Log 13 Lives. Have you watched any of this? Does this guy lead you any credits to think he's going to be good at pinning a superhero X-Men script? No. Further, it should be noted that given his recent work on adapting young adult novels for teenage girls, Leslie has all but confirmed hiring for X-Men leads credence to previous rumors that the film will be centered on the team's female members. Color us shocked there. The whisper was first raised to the public December 23, courtesy of noted scooper Daniel RPK. We've talked about all of that kind of stuff in the past, taken to his personal Patreon account, yada, 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 right? Talking about it's going to be female-led, female-centric. And that makes sense considering the fact that they did the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, the fact that this guy's been adapting young adult novels, all of this other kind of nonsense. It's his track record. But why did I initially think, based strictly on knowing that this guy was responsible for the Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? Why did I know this was going to be a disaster? Because numbers don't lie, boys and girls. The domestic box office for the Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was $166 million total. This movie was estimated to have a budget of $100 million. Now, we know how generally underestimated those budgets generally are that are reported in the news. So you can pretty much take it to the bank. This movie probably cost them anywhere from $150 to $175 million. But let's just base it on the $100 million that was reported out there in the news, okay? We know that their best domestic haul is taken from the domestic box office. It's about 50%, depending on how long a movie actually runs for, right? 166 million, 160 million internationally. Now we know the take is much less from the international. So even at 2.5 times the general box office, which we know, according to Hollywood insiders like Robert Meyer Burnett and others, is way drastically under it. That movie would have to make 250 million just to break even. It didn't. It did 327 globally. But that's not enough to turn into a profit considering your marketing costs, any kind of reshoot costs, and the fact that you don't take anywhere near as much money from the global box office, right? That also being said, well, okay, so maybe it wasn't a phenomenal sensation of the box office. Did the fans like it? Did the audience like it? Well, when your audience doesn't show up to say it, it doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, Hollywood matters about their critic score. Well, this thing had a 63% critic score and 89% audience score, which isn't bad. Except that even with 1,000+ verified signatures, nobody went and saw it, especially domestically. 166 million? That's abysmal. That's a failure. So even aside the fact that this guy is most likely going to pin a script that is all wham and power nonsense and agenda driven, he's already a failure. He hasn't done anything to give him credence to one of the largest Marvel franchises in history, one of the most well-known IPs globally, the X-Men. No, the guy whose latest Hollywood adventure at the box office was a Hunger Games prequel that lost money, that nobody watched. X-Men, the reboot from Disney Marvel, is going to fail. It is going to be an abomination. Unless something drastically changes before this movie comes out with inside the Walt Disney Company, it will fail. Just like the Fantastic Four will fail as well. Everyone's sick and tired of seeing Pedro Pascal and everything. We know what your agenda is going to be. We know the rumors about these movies. We know what this is going to go forward. As Kevin Feige said, the future of Marvel is female, boys and girls. Well, let me use my psychic powers of perception and tell you. You know what else is meant for the future of Marvel? Failure, box office disaster, and hiring some idiot like this with actual no legitimate success or writing talent behind them to go out there and pin the script for what is arguably one of the largest IPs inside of the Marvel universe. Good luck, Disney. Good luck, Bob Iger. Good luck, Kevin Feige. The rest of us will sit back here and watch you as you burn down to the ground and go enjoy our old X-Men comic books on our classic X-Men animated series. You enjoy burning down to the ground and completely indulge destroying what should easily be one of the most successful franchises in human history. But hey, everything Disney touches turns to dust, and they're complete and total idiots. So enjoy losing billions and billions of dollars more. Good job, Bob Iger.